Guys, welcome back to Nerdmania. It's been a while. I've been away for a couple of weeks. I haven't been away. I've been working for a couple of weeks and just haven't had a chance to record anything for you guys. But I'm back and we're going to have a look at today at my pickups for June and my Comic Con pickups, which was at the start of July. But I've already got a few bits for July. I didn't have much for June in the way of action figures, and I picked up a couple of mini grails, figures that I've had on my want list. One being a vintage figure, and I don't normally go in on vintage figures too much, but this is a line that I couldn't see getting a modern release anytime soon. But to mix things up, well, I'll start with the movies today, but if you're new here, my name's Stuart, this is Nerdmania, and we talk all things nerdy. We talk action figures, comics, graphic novels, whatever I pick up, we'll have a chat about. I have got a comic this month as well, something I wanted to pick up with you guys. It's about a month old now, but I may go into spoilers with it. So I'll save the comic till the end so you guys can tune out if you don't want to know. I'm going to start, like I say, I'll start with movies and then we'll crack on with the toys and what I picked up at the con. I've got a small stack of movies this month. One older movie, which is a new release, but it's an older movie. And then a stack of new releases this month. I didn't get any older stuff really this month, with the exception of the first one, which is Warner Archives' One Crazy Summer. This is John Cusack, Demi Moore, and Bobcat Goldthwait, who was Zed in Police Academy. I haven't seen this movie before. Just looked really interesting to me. Just the standard blue Warner Archives disc in there. I did start watching it the day I got it, and then something came up and I had to unfortunately turn it off, and I haven't had a chance to go back to it. It's a weird movie, but I was enjoying it. Typical sort of 80s kind of weird movie. If you've seen it, let me know what you think below. But from the start, I was quite enjoying it, but I'll have to get back to it and let you know. And that leaves me with a ton of new releases. So I have all Blu-rays and one 4K. First up is The Fabelmans. This is the new Steven Spielberg movie. This one's got a slipcover, and then the disc inside, some of the alternate poster art from the front cover. If you haven't seen this, it's kind of a semi-biographical kind of movie about a young boy growing up wanting to be a movie maker, loosely based on Steven Spielberg's upbringing. It is a very good movie. I enjoyed it. It's not a movie I feel I will watch over and over again, but it's Spielberg's, so it had to be in the collection. So that is The Fabelmans. Again, if you've seen it, let me know what you think below. Next is Adam Driver in 65. This I had fun with, actually. Just a very basic story. An alien space pilot crashes onto an unknown planet. Turns out to be Earth during the Jurassic period or the Triassic period, one of the periods where the Earth was covered with dinosaurs. So it's that mixture of sci-fi and the past, and it's just a basic story of him trying to survive with a young girl on Earth during the time of the dinosaurs. Enjoyable, not fantastic, but no Jurassic Park, but it's fun, it's enjoyable. Next is, you can probably tell by the change in the tone in my voice there, a movie I was a little bit disappointed with, to be honest. It's Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I loved the first Shazam. I thought it was really good. Slipcover there. But this one, just standard blue Warner Brothers disc inside there. This movie just let me down. It just wasn't as good as the first one. I feel it was oversaturated with the rest of the family being superheroes. It would have been better if it was still just Shazam on his own. And they missed the opportunity to tie it in with Black Adam as well, which was a shame. It's fun in places, but just a bit of a letdown compared to the first one. And then we go in completely the opposite direction to one of the best films in this series, I think. This is John Wick, Chapter 4. I thought this was phenomenal. This was so good. This is probably the best one for me since the first one. There's the JW on the disc there. The first one was just brilliant. Didn't really have a lot of hype before it came out. Very simple revenge story. They kill a man's dog, and and he goes out for revenge before they started fleshing out the universe with the whole Continental and the background of all the hitmen and stuff. But this one was really good, action-packed from start to finish. There's a scene where they're fighting up some stairs. That's just phenomenal. Yeah, very worth checking out. John Wick Chapter 4. Next is a comedy that I actually did see at the cinema. This is Champions with Woody Harrelson. As I've said many times on my channel before, big basketball fan. And this is a basketball movie. Woody Harrelson is a washed-up coach who gets one more chance to coach, and he coaches a special needs basketball team. And this film's so funny, so much heart. It's going to be one of those movies that you throw on a Sunday afternoon and just have a good laugh with. So that's Champions with Woody Harrelson. So yeah, well, definitely if you're into your sports movies and you like a comedy, that's worth watching. Next up is one of my films of the year last year, one of my top 10 films of the year last year. And it's Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. This movie is funny, heartfelt, heartbreaking in places. If you know nothing about it, it's basically a stop motion, live action cross with stop motion movie, kind of done in the way of a documentary about a man who moves into a house and finds that there's a small shell who lives in there with his nan, and they've lost their family, and he kind of helps him find his family. It's fantastic. It sounds weird, but it's really worth watching. So if you want to have a film that with heart, that will make you laugh, check out Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. And last but not least is one of the big blockbusters last year, and this was actually in my top 10 films of the year as well. And this is a 4K release of Avatar: The Way of Water. I felt this needed a 4K release. This is absolutely visually stunning movie. James Cameron going back to Pandora. So this is a 3-disc set here. It has a 4K, a Blu-ray, and then it has an extras disc as well. Stunning looking. I put it on the other day to check out the picture. It looks stunning. I preferred this to the first Avatar, and I did enjoy the first Avatar. This one I felt was just visually, I keep saying visually stunning, it just is. Because this film is basically based around the water, it's the water scenes are phenomenal. It's worth watching just to see the special effects on this movie. That's Avatar: The Way of Water. Okay, so that brings me to an end of my movies for the month. So let's go with my only toy pickup that wasn't from a convention. Actually, that's a lie. I have two, but I'll show you the other one. But the other one's a model kit. This is the only toy I picked up. It is the G.I. Joe Falcon. And yes, he does look like he's from Team America. This is probably, for me, one of the weakest ones they've released so far, but I still actually really like it. It's Falcon, it's just a general soldier, the beret. Yes, the face is a little odd, but the figure itself is actually pretty good. But like I say, one of the weakest in a very strong line. It just seems to be at the moment I'm getting a Joe a month. Last month I had Copperhead. I can't remember what I had the month before. I've already got a Joe for this month. I think I'm actually going to have 2 Joes for the month of July. But yeah, this is Falcon. That's my only figure pickup really that wasn't from a convention. So I'll just show you the model kits I picked up. One of these I picked up at my local comic shop, Gobsmack Comics. The other one I picked up at a convention. I was at London Film and Comic Con. So I picked up the Strike Freedom Gundam. I haven't made this yet. This one I picked up from Gobsmack Comics. I've been on at him to get Gundam kits in for a while, and he got some in, so I thought I'd better pick one up. So yeah, looking forward to building this one. I haven't built a Gundam kit in probably almost 6 or 7 months now. I really need to get back on. I've got a small pile of them building up. And then just to keep with the continuity, I picked up the Blazing Gundam. This one I picked up at London Film and Comic Con. You don't see a lot of Gundam at British cons. There tends to be one stall that may have a couple of kits. This guy had a load of kits, and this one just looked a bit cool. I haven't watched this particular series of Gundam, but this just looked really cool. So yeah, they're my 2 Gundam pickups. So we'll go on to what I picked up at London Film and Comic Con. London Film Comic Con was a fun weekend. I wasn't going to go originally. Quick little story. I booked a photo shoot with Clark Gregg, who plays Agent Coulson in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in February 2020, just before COVID hit. We obviously then went all the way through the pandemic. He moved from show to show to show. And I'd kind of given up on the fact that he was ever going to show up. And then 2 weeks before the convention, I haven't booked a ticket or anything. He decides he's going to go. He puts out a video and says, I will be there. So I figured, better pull my finger out, get a ticket and go. So I ended up going on the Saturday and Sunday with my friend. I went with the Iconic Legion. I'm an admin for that group. If you don't know who Iconic Legion are, they are a charity costuming group. If you have a charity, you can contact Iconic Legion, ask them to come along, and they will come along with several characters. If I remember, I'll try and put some photos up here of the group, or some members of the group, so you can see what kind of costumes we do. I used to do some cosplay back in the day. I haven't done it in a few years now, but I still help out with the group. But yeah, so anyway, here's my photo with Clark Gregg, Agent Coulson. Very nice gentleman. As you probably know, going to conventions, you get a very brief couple of seconds with them while they rush you through the photo line. But yes, Clark Gregg. And I also, because I was there with Iconic Legion, I was in before the event started. I managed to bump into Danny Trejo on the floor, and I got a photo with him as well, which I'll put up here. Very friendly guy, super friendly, happy to talk to you, happy to have a photo taken with you. A lot smaller than I was expecting. To give you some clarification, I'm 6'3", 6'4", depending on what shoes I've got on, and that's me next to him. And then I picked up 2 figures, not figures I went into the event looking for. I went into the event maybe looking at picking up a few G.I. Joes that had already, some stores had, that I haven't pre-ordered, that I haven't picked up yet. I thought maybe there was a few Snowbats there, but I ended up not picking any up and actually picking up a couple of older figures. One figure that I've been after for a while is, I have the gold Skeletor, the Despot Skeletor, and the He-Man from the William Stout collection that are based on the movie, the Master Universe Dolph Lundgren movie. And I wanted to I've always been after some of the other characters that they did in the original Master Universe classics. But they tend to be quite expensive. But there was a gentleman there who actually had a stall that just seemed to be selling off his personal collection of figures. And I got a really good deal, and I picked up Blade. One of my friends has a stall there. He actually had this up for over £150, which is a pretty good price. When you look on eBay, that's kind of the price it's going for. I got this for £60. And it's still boxed, and it comes with the shipper. Yeah, so I was super happy to pick this up. I just need to get Gwildor now. They're the ones I really want. There are a couple of others, but yeah, Blade and Gwildor are the 2 that I really wanted. So yeah, happy to grab this guy. And like I said, I got a really, really good deal on him. And that leaves me with one more figure before I talk about the comic that I picked up this month, or this previous month. And it's a vintage figure, which I don't, like I say, I don't normally go in on vintage figures, but this one is a line that I loved as a kid, loved the figures as a kid, loved the show as a kid. And a stall there seemed to have had someone who had sold a collection of these. There's no way I could afford the whole collection, obviously, but I wanted to pick up my favourite from the show. And it was complete. And this is Leoric from Visionaries. This is the original figure from the 80s. He's complete. He's got his stand. He's got his staff there in the background. All his holograms are in great condition, and he's got his whip as well. I did go back on the second day, to be honest, to try and pick up. They had Whittaquick as well, complete, but they had sold him. I'm kind of gutted. I would have loved to have had Whittaquick as well, but Leoric was my favourite. He's got his helmet. Yeah, so that's Leoric from Visionaries. Brilliant. Like I say, don't pick up a lot of vintage figures, but that one was one that caught my eye. So really happy to have picked him up. So yeah, that's it. That's my toy pickups and my movie pickups for the month of June. I do have one comic that I picked up. I've really pulled back on my comics. I only normally pick up Batman, the current Batman run. Everything else I've stopped. I've sold off a load of my comics. I just didn't have the room. I don't have the space to collect them, and I was just not reading them. The last sort of year, I've really gone back into movies. I'm watching a lot of movies. I've watched over 157 movies this year already. I know there's probably people out there who've watched more, but that's quite a lot considering, I think. But this caught my eye. You may not... This is the new Robert Kirkman book, and this is Void Rivals. Now, spoilers, so if you don't want to know anything, please turn off now. But this is Robert Kirkman writing Transformers and G.I. Joe. This is the new Transformers G.I. Joe crossover comic, and it's written by Robert Kirkman, who wrote The Walking Dead, if you don't know. Hasbro seem to be going really hard in on this. If you haven't seen it, Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Spoilers again, so please, if you don't want to know, has a little link to G.I. Joe. And if you look at some of the figures coming out that have been announced for San Diego Comic-Con, some of the, well, not directly for the show, but have been announced coming up to San Diego Comic-Con around G.I. Joe. They've announced a special Chuckles, which is a con exclusive. And he actually comes with a little tape deck. And if you look at that little tape deck, it's Soundwave. And they've also announced a mole rat. And that mole rat has Dark Energon stuck in his head. So the link, they're really beginning to lean hard into a whole G.I. Joe Transformers crossover. And Void Rivals is part of that. The cover gives nothing away to say it's Transformers or Joe, except for, if you know this sign here, this is the Energon universe, and this is part of that. So yeah, that's Void Rivals, Robert Kirkman's new Transformers G.I. Joe crossover. It's a pretty good book, to be honest. If you're into Transformers, definitely worth checking this one out. So that's it for the month of June / the very first week of July when I went to Comic Con. June's already, like I say, I've already got 2 really nice looking figures to show you next month. I believe I've got at least a third on the way. I've got a small stack of movies already for the month. So I will definitely be having a haul in July. August at the moment is looking very slow. It all depends on what pre-orders come in where. I've got a big pre-order due in any time now, so it could be this month, could be next month, could be the month after. It's all paid off. I'm literally just waiting for it to ship. To give you an idea, it's going to go with this, to give you an idea of what kind of figure it is. But yeah, as for now, that's it. If you're new here and you've made it this far, please comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz. It helps me have the motivation to carry on showing you this stuff when I know that people are watching it and enjoying it. But until next month, I will, well, hopefully not next month. Hopefully I've got some content coming out before. At the moment, it does just seem to be, sorry, I'm going off again on a different tangent. It does at the moment seem to be haul after monthly haul after monthly haul after monthly haul. I'm not having a lot of time to film anything else at the moment, but I want to get content out so you don't think I've disappeared. So hopefully there will be something in between, but if not, I will definitely be back with my next month's haul. So again, thanks guys, and I'll see you next time.